Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're opening up a really powerful story from John chapter 4, verses 1 through 26. It's that encounter between Jesus and the woman at the well.
Right. And it's one of those stories that, people often know the basics of, but when you really dig in, it's just packed with layers. Radical grace, social barriers being smashed. It's quite something.
Absolutely. And that's our mission today, really, to unlock some of that transformative power by looking closely at the context, the actual conversation, and, well, this incredible offer Jesus makes to someone society had basically written off.
We want to slow it down and really see what's happening beneath the surface.
So let's start with the setup. Jesus finds out the Pharisees are getting wind of his growing popularity.
Yeah.
Baptizing more disciples than John the Baptist.
Right. The buzz is growing. So he decides to leave Judea and head back north to Galilee.
But the route he takes is key, isn't it? The text says he must needs go through Samaria. That phrasing feels deliberate.
Oh, absolutely deliberate. That's the first big clue. See, Jews and Samaritans, they had this deep-seated, centuries-old hostility. Samaritans were seen as, well, religiously and racially impure by many Jews.
Because of their history, mixing with other groups, having their own temple site on Mount Gerizim.
Exactly. So most observant Jews traveling between Judea in the south and Galilee in the north, they wouldn't dream of cutting through Samaria.
They'd take the long way around, right? Go east, across the Jordan River, travel up that side, and then cross back over. A huge detour.
A multi-day detour, just to avoid setting foot in Samaria. So when John writes, he must go through, it's signaling this isn't about the shortest route.
It's a divine appointment. He's intentionally walking into enemy territory, so to speak.
Precisely. He's heading for a specific encounter.
Okay, let's picture the scene. He arrives at a town called Sychar. Near the plot of land Jacob gave his son Joseph, and Jacob's well is there.
A place with deep historical resonance. And the text adds this very human detail. Jesus is wearied with his journey.
Yeah, he's tired. So he just sits down right there by the well.
And then there's the time of day, about the 6th hour.
Which is high noon, the hottest part of the day.
Right. Which immediately makes you wonder, why is anyone coming to draw water then?
Usually that was a morning or evening task, wasn't it? More communal, cooler.
Exactly. Drawing water at noon suggests she might be avoiding people. Perhaps she's an outcast, trying to miss the judgment or gossip of the other women in the village.
That really sets the stage.
Yeah.
So this woman arrives, possibly marginalized, definitely alone, and Jesus speaks to her, just starts the conversation.
Which is the first shock. He says, "Give me to drink." His disciples, meanwhile, are off in town buying food.
And her reaction says it all, doesn't it? She's floored.
Totally. She says, "How is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which art a woman of Samaria?" And John adds the note, "For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans."
You could almost hear the astonishment. Like, wait, you're talking to me. She instantly clocks him as a Jew.
And he's broken multiple rules already. A Jew talking to a Samaritan. A man talking to an unrelated woman in public. And, crucially, asking to share her drinking vessel, which implies ritual impurity concerns, too.
It's a massive breach of social and religious etiquette.
Just completely turns things upside down. But notice Jesus' response. He doesn't defend himself. He doesn't apologize.
No, he just pivots immediately.
Yeah.
He elevates the whole thing.
Right. He says, "If thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water."
Wow. Okay, so he shifts from physical thirst, the drink she can provide, to this idea of living water.
It's a brilliant move. He's essentially saying, you're focused on the physical water in this well, but there's a deeper thirst, a spiritual source you don't even know about yet.
But she doesn't get the metaphor, does she? Not at first.
No, she's still thinking practically, literally. She points out, "Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep."
Like, how are you going to get this supposed living water if you don't even have a bucket?
Exactly. She's stuck on the mechanics. And then she brings up the historical challenge.
Ah, yes. Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle?
That's a big question in that context. Jacob is the patriarch. This well is part of their heritage, their identity.
She's basically asking, are you claiming to be more important, to have something better than our ancestor Jacob and this sacred well he gave us?
It's a way of testing him, comparing him to their known history. And this is where Jesus draws the crucial distinction.
The contrast between the water from Jacob's well and the water he offers.
Right. He says, whoever drinks this water, the well water, shall thirst again. It quenches temporarily, but the need comes back.
We all know that feeling.
But the water that he gives shall never thirst. It becomes something inside the person, a well of water springing up into everlasting life.
So it's not just a drink, it's an internal, perpetual source,
Yeah.
a spring within you.
That's the promise. Deep, lasting, internal spiritual satisfaction. Something the world, like that well, can only provide temporary relief for.
Yet even after hearing this incredible promise of everlasting life, she's still thinking about the immediate problem.
And isn't that just so human? She says, "Sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw."
Her main takeaway is still convenience. Great, water, that means I don't have to make this hot, probably shameful trip out here every day.
She wants the eternal solution mainly to solve her current discomfort. And that's the moment Jesus gets incredibly personal.
Yeah, the conversation takes a sharp turn. He connects her thirst to her actual life. He says abruptly, "Go, call thy husband, and come hither."
Wow, just like that, from theology to the most intimate detail of her life.
And her reply is short, probably clipped, maybe defensive. "I have no husband."
Technically true, perhaps, in that exact moment, but Jesus sees right through it.
He comes back with, "Thou hast well said, I have no husband. For thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. In that saidst thou truly."
Boom. He just lays out her entire relational history. 5 husbands, and the man she's with now isn't her husband either.
Think about the implications of that in her time and culture. 5 failed marriages, whether through death or divorce. She would have been utterly ostracized.
Absolutely. This explains why she was at the well alone at noon. It confirms her status as an outcast.
But the way he says it, the text doesn't give a tone of judgment, does it? It reads like a statement of fact.
Exactly. It's not, "You wicked woman, you've had 5 husbands." It's more like, "Yes, you're right, you don't have a husband now. The reality is you've had 5, and the current situation isn't marriage either." He's simply stating the truth of her life.
It feels less like condemnation and more like being seen,
Yeah.
truly seen.
That's it. He's not revealing it to shame her further. He's revealing it to show her, "I see your real thirst." The deep longing for connection, for stability, for love that these relationships haven't satisfied.
I see the pain and the searching that brought you here alone at noon. It connects her life story directly to the need for that living water.
Precisely. The living water isn't just about avoiding the walk to the well. It's the answer to the deep relational and spiritual void her life demonstrates.
And her reaction, immediate recognition.
Yep, she instantly shifts. "Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet."
She recognizes his supernatural knowledge, but then, maybe feeling exposed, she tries to pivot again, right? Back to safer ground.
Classic deflection. Instead of dealing with the raw nerve he just touched about her husbands, she brings up the age-old religious debate.
"Our fathers worshipped in this mountain," she says, referring to Mount Gerizim nearby, the Samaritan holy site. "And ye Jews say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship."
She's trying to turn it into a theological argument. Okay, you're a prophet, so tell us who's right about where to worship, us or you?
Trying to change the subject from her personal life to religious geography.
But Jesus doesn't take the bait. He basically says the whole where question is becoming obsolete.
He says, "Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father."
He acknowledges the Jewish lineage of salvation. Salvation is of the Jews, but then immediately moves beyond it. He says the time is coming, and actually is already here.
"When the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him."
That's the core principle. It cuts through everything else. True worship isn't about the building, the mountain, the city.
It's not about physical location or external rituals.
Because God is spirit, he says worship has to be spiritual. It has to engage your inner being, your heart, your mind. And in truth, it has to be authentic, real, honest, no hiding, no deflecting.
Wow, so it's about the posture of your heart, not the place you're standing.
Exactly. It's a radical redefinition of worship for her and for everyone. And this profound teaching leads her to express her own hope.
She says, "I know that Messias cometh, which is called Christ. When he is come, he will tell us all things."
She's still waiting for the ultimate authority, the Messiah, to sort all this out. She has this hope that one day someone will finally explain everything.
And she had absolutely no idea who she's been talking to this whole time, this tired, thirsty Jewish man sitting by the well.
She voices her hope for the Messiah.
And Jesus just drops the bombshell. Jesus saith unto her, I that speak unto thee am he.
Can you imagine that moment? Just the shock. He reveals his identity as the Messiah, not to the high priest in Jerusalem, not to his closest disciples first in this explicit way, but to her.
A Samaritan woman, an outcast, someone with a deeply troubled past. It's stunning.
Absolutely stunning. And the significance here is huge. Let's break down what this encounter really shows us and shows you, the listener.
Okay, first, radical inclusion, right? Jesus went out of his way, broke all the rules to engage with someone society rejected.
He didn't just stumble upon her, he sought her out. Second, he saw her completely. Revealing her past wasn't about judgment, it was about showing her, I know your deepest thirst, your specific pain. He saw her, not just her history.
Third, the offer of real fulfillment. That living water isn't a quick fix. It's the deep, internal, lasting satisfaction for the core needs that nothing else could meet for her.
And fourth, the heart of true faith. It's not about where you are or what rituals you perform. It's in spirit and in truth. It's about honesty, authenticity, and connecting with God from the heart.
It really is an incredible picture of God's love reaching out, seeing beyond all the labels and failures.
It challenges us to look past the surface, doesn't it? In others, and maybe in ourselves, too.
And thinking about that, let's circle back to her initial reaction to the living water. Give me this water so I don't have to come here and draw.
Yeah, even with the promise of everlasting life, her immediate thought was still about avoiding the inconvenient, painful part of her daily routine.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? When we pray or seek spiritual connection, that living water, how much are we genuinely seeking that deep internal transformation?
That wellspring of everlasting life.
And how much are we just hoping it will, make the difficult parts of our current lives a bit easier, solve a temporary problem, like her wanting to avoid the hot walk to the well?
It's a challenging thought. What are the 5 husbands in our lives? The patterns, the failures, the things we're ashamed of? Or the hot journeys, the struggles we just want to avoid?
Are we asking for the living water to truly change us from the inside out, or just to numb the discomfort of the journey?
The story suggests the offer is for something much deeper than mere convenience. It's about becoming a new source altogether.
Definitely something to reflect on.
For sure.
Well, thank you for exploring that with us today. It's an incredibly rich passage.
Always good to dive deep.
Join us next time for another deep dive.